The atmosphere surrounding international rugby changed almost overnight when reports emerged that Benhard Janse van Rensburg was on the verge of representing England instead of South Africa. What initially appeared to be a routine selection story quickly evolved into one of the most fascinating discussions of the rugby season. Fans across both nations struggled to understand how a player born in South Africa had come so close to wearing the Springboks jersey before suddenly finding himself preparing for an entirely different international future. For years, Benhard Janse van Rensburg had worked tirelessly to establish himself as one of the most dependable centers in professional rugby. Every match showcased his determination, physicality, and ability to perform under pressure. His consistent displays for Bristol Bears convinced many supporters that a Springbok call-up was only a matter of time. His performances suggested he possessed everything needed to compete at the highest international level. Behind closed doors, South Africa's coaching staff had been monitoring his progress for quite some time. Match reports were carefully reviewed, video footage was analyzed in detail, and discussions regularly took place about where he could fit into the national team's long-term plans. The coaching group admired not only his attacking ability but also his defensive awareness and leadership on the field. Leading those conversations was Springboks head coach Rassie Erasmus, who believed the talented centre deserved serious consideration. However, selecting players for a world champion squad is never a simple decision. Every position is fiercely competitive, and introducing new talent requires careful planning rather than emotional reactions. The coaching staff wanted to make sure every selection happened at the right moment. Everything changed during what seemed like an ordinary conversation. A senior rugby executive approached Rassie Erasmus with a straightforward question. Are you planning to cap Benhard Janse van Rensburg this year? After considering the squad's depth and existing plans, Rassie Erasmus honestly replied that it was unlikely. At that stage, other players were ahead in the selection order, and there appeared to be no immediate need to fast-track another centre into the squad. The answer sounded harmless. It seemed like nothing more than a realistic assessment of the team's current situation. But months later, those few words would carry enormous consequences. As the international season developed, circumstances changed dramatically. Injuries and squad rotations reduced South Africa's options in midfield. Suddenly, the coaching staff found themselves searching for additional experienced players who could strengthen the squad. Development matches, including fixtures involving the Barbarians and South Africa A, created ideal opportunities to introduce new faces into the Springbok environment. At that moment, Benhard Janse van Rensburg returned to the top of the discussion. The plan appeared simple. Invite him into camp. Give him valuable international experience. Secure his future with South Africa. However, reality had already moved in another direction. When Rassie Erasmus contacted senior officials to revisit the idea, he was reminded that earlier assurances had already been given. South African rugby administrators had communicated with both England and World Rugby, confirming they would not attempt to fast-track the player's international eligibility after the coach had previously indicated he was not part of the immediate plans. That commitment changed everything. Although the coaching staff now wanted to offer Benhard Janse van Rensburg an opportunity, they chose to honor the promise that had already been made. The chance to secure his international future with South Africa quietly disappeared. Meanwhile, England recognized an opportunity that could not be ignored. Their coaching staff closely followed the situation and acted quickly once the player's eligibility pathway became clear. Administrative processes moved forward, paperwork was completed, and preparations began for what could soon become Benhard Janse van Rensburg's first official test appearance wearing the famous white jersey. News of the development spread rapidly throughout the rugby community. Supporters reacted with surprise. Some believed South Africa had allowed exceptional talent to slip away. Others argued that every professional player has the right to pursue opportunities wherever they arise. Regardless of personal opinions, everyone agreed on one thing. International rugby had once again demonstrated how quickly careers can change. The story attracted even more attention after Rassie Erasmus publicly explained what had happened. Instead of avoiding difficult questions, he openly admitted that South Africa had been interested in selecting Benhard Janse van Rensburg once squad circumstances changed. He revealed that the coaches genuinely wanted to give the centre an opportunity during the June fixtures but respected the commitment already made by rugby officials. His honesty earned respect across the rugby world. Rather than blaming administrators or criticising England, Rassie Erasmus acknowledged that international rugby often involves complex decisions extending far beyond performances on the field. Eligibility rules, administrative agreements, strategic planning, and long-term relationships all influence decisions that supporters rarely get to witness. As debate continued, many rugby analysts revisited Benhard Janse van Rensburg's club performances. Highlight reels showed his powerful carries, intelligent running lines, reliable defense, and ability to create scoring opportunities under pressure. Every replay seemed to reinforce the same argument. This was a player capable of succeeding on the international stage. Fans continued asking the same question. What if the original answer had been different? What if Rassie Erasmus had immediately committed to selecting him? Would Benhard Janse van Rensburg now be wearing the green and gold jersey instead of preparing for England? Those questions may never receive definitive answers. Yet they remain one of the season's biggest talking points. For young players watching around the world, this remarkable story carries an important lesson. Talent opens doors, but timing often determines which door stays open. A single conversation, one honest opinion, or one administrative decision can completely reshape an athlete's international future. As anticipation builds for the next round of international fixtures, many supporters eagerly await the moment Benhard Janse van Rensburg finally steps onto the field in Test rugby. Whether representing England or imagining the path that might have led him to South Africa, his journey has already become one of the most compelling stories in modern rugby. It reminds everyone that success in professional sport is not shaped solely by tackles, tries, or victories. Behind every international jersey lies a series of difficult decisions, careful planning, and moments that can alter a career forever. Sometimes the biggest turning point in a player's life happens not during a match, but during a quiet conversation inside a meeting room. That is exactly why the journey of Benhard Janse van Rensburg continues to captivate rugby fans across the world. It is a story of opportunity, patience, difficult choices, and the unpredictable nature of international sport.